Can someone explain this series to me like I am 5? Because I have questions.
Not just you. After watching this show, I don't think I even want an explanation.
The plot holes, the veering off of... I don't even understand the series at all. If there's one thing I gave this series, I gave it time to explain itself. From episodes 1 to 4, I was really invested in it. I wanted to know more. I was actually enjoying it because, okay, I'm trying to see what you're doing here. I want to know how the story goes. In my head, that this series is going to be something that's going to be very brilliant, that will blow my mind, but it utterly disappointed me. It's vying for the position of one of the worst series I've seen this year.
Is it vying? I think it's the worst series I have seen this year. It's annoying that when I started the show, I thought this is a really good idea. Yeah, telling stories like this is really good. First and second episode, I'm like, oh my god, it's really good. But moving on, what the hell is this? Can You Be Over?
Once it was in episode 4, Chiamaka's story, I was over it. I was done. The honest to God truth, I can't even flesh out a description for this series. So I just had to go to Nollywood, and this is what Nollywood had to say. A desperate man, a devoted sister, an ambitious woman in a Lagos jail. The intersecting backstories of prisoners reveal the city's darkest secrets. We saw the desperate man, Ade, a devoted sister, that's Tonha. An ambitious woman is Onye, right? That's her name. For the modeling audition. You never see Ade anymore, so I don't know.
This show, although it tried to be genre defying and a blend of genres, I know what they were trying to do, but they failed. Like, I don't know what the point where the writers of the show lost it. But let's start with the pros of this show. Clarence Peter shot this series. You could see that this is a talented cinematographer. Okay, he's trying to capture some things here and there. So that I give him that one.
Yeah, I really allowed the camera to tell a lot of story. Sometimes you don't have to talk too much. There's one scene where the girl saw her stepmother poisoning her father. She didn't say anything. That was just the camera work alone. There are just some scenes that the camera just did the job, and not too much explaining. So that was good.
And some of the storylines really evokes a lot of emotions because Nigeria is a crazy place. Not as much as Nigeria is such a fun place to live, it's also like
very wild place. And a lot of people always say Lagos, Nigeria, because Lagos is actually the most saturated city in Nigeria. But a lot of things happen in this country that in the belly of this country, like, you will be amazed. If you're a Nigerian, you understand that we're in this concrete jungle, and you just really have to be appreciative every day of your life where you're above ground. That's the truth of your matter. So seeing this, it really kickstarted a lot of trauma in me. Not really trauma, but so a lot of fear. I've never visited, but I've heard stories, and you have seen it in movies where it's demonstrated, and you know that this is not a place that you ever want to be. Even your parents will tell you that, do not even think of going to jail. Nigerian prison, it's not like a prison break. These facilities are not even built like that. It's worse, it's terrible, it's dark. They try to show that in this movie as well. So it really just kickstarted it. The other of my fears is kidnapping. It is alarming, it's an alarming rate. We can never ever forget a lot of people that have died, that have never been heard from ever again by their families. So it really stirred up those emotions in me. The people, Nigerians always move on, but the backstory sometimes are overlooked. So they try to bring out those things for us.
Different set locations was quite believable.
I like the set a lot. However, let's go to the cons now. And I warn you that the cons overshadows the pros in this movie. Let's start with the color. I'm not a professional in this field, but I've seen a lot of movies, and I know that colors in movies are used to tell stories too, not just the camera. How the coloring works, because we all know how colors influence or affect the mood of the person watching a show. So the color in this movie or this series, it took away from the story, in my very humble opinion.
This series is so dark. Like, that was one of the first things that stressed me out a lot. In as much as he shot this show very well, you could see that his camera is telling stories. When he edited this show, he took out life from this story. And maybe trying to say, I'm telling a dark story.
But even though There's a way that they would have done it.
Even for the Nigerian prison, we could, if we got the color grading, did not have to be like that. I don't think this show even has color grading, just black, 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 black. There's no mix of colors or anything here. Even like the prison, I could not see. I do not know what the characters look like. I'm not lying to people. If they were not in the prison, people that were in prison, I cannot identify them. I do not know who is what. I do not know, except from when they show their stories when they're outside prison, that you could see a little bit, but it was not still nice. We did not need this sort of like the editing, this filter or the effects in this show is trash. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was too much. To me, it took away from the story. It even took away the Lagos, the vibrancy of Lagos and everything. It took away from it. Yeah. Especially there was a part where one of the girl that went for the modeling audition, she was coming from her house. You already know that there's are slums in Lagos. When she was coming up the stairs, that place was not just nice. It not showed how vibrant Lagos is. That, okay, things are going on behind you and everyone and where their heart is right now. Also, the haphazard story. What is going on? I wrote it on my notes that what is the entire point? When we got to, I think, episode 5, what is the point? What I asked myself. Because in my head, I thought it was going to be an anthology, maybe, when we watched episode 1. Then I saw Ade in episode 2.
I don't even recall seeing Ade in episode 2.
Was the conductor. I thought that at the end of the day, it's going to be like a brilliant mesh of different strangers and how their life connected. I thought it was going to be that very brilliant mesh. That, okay, the Onyinye entered the bus of Ade when she was going for her audition. Then with the policewoman, what is her own deal in the case? She and Ade had a connection. Then the pharmacist that Ade went to meet was the essay that Mimi went to meet. I thought it was going to be that brilliant mesh at the end of the episode or 6th episode that we don't have any other choice but to stand up and clap for the creators, the writers. But once we entered, in episode 4, I was already tired. Chiamaka's story was going on too long. What is the point? Chiamaka, okay, we see, okay, what's the point of Chiamaka in this story now? I was waiting. Then her father, because in this story, Chiamaka, she's a child out of wedlock. So her mother came to abandon her at the doorstep of her father. Okay, now Chiamaka is having a hard life. Her stepmother hates her. Her stepsister do not like her either.
That did not even make sense because the sister too, both of you are the same stepsister. I don't think they will not team up against each other.
So let us assume that, okay, because the woman already warmed up to the first one. Now the other one does not want another person now to come and take her place. Okay, life is complicated like that. Let's leave it at that. From that episode 4, it just went woof downhill.
And the story is just, I don't know what to even say about the story. They had the opportunity to make good stories. They had good themes, abuse and everything. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they did not write the stories very well. We saw, I think, the political things also came into play when we say when we go to the spiritual part of the story, and the fantasy part. There are politicians that want power. If you want to be senator, if you want to be like, there's this kind of explanation. But I did not really like that dialogue. Like, I'm like, okay, well, is this really necessary? Does it make sense? That twist there. What do you think? Was it good?
I did not like the fantasy bit of it at all. The entire ring that was forged. I have a lot of questions. If you ask me now, I won't watch it again. Who is the girl that now became the queen that took the ring?
And the one that slayed everybody, and how they teamed or how they planned to slay the men when they get there. I have no idea.
I don't know. Is that Itohan? But it's not possible that that's Itohan, because Itohan we now see her sister Mimi. So it makes no sense. So who is that girl? I don't know. I cannot identify her. Then the Chiamaka that had little darkness in her, that was not cooked to deal with those men. Okay, even if she deals with the men, Chiamaka was in that prison.
I really cannot recall. I could not see anything.
And Itohan too was in that prison with her bloody nightwear. So if they were in the prison, how did Itohan not leave again? After she had the spiritual powers, how did Itohan not enter the prison again? And because the policeman was like, only you deal with how many men? So how did she not get there? I don't know.
I really like Clarence Peter himself to do an ending explained. Usually Netflix have articles where the directors, producers are like, okay, this is our interpretation, this is what we did. So if Clarence Peter could just do an interview or just write something and just explain the logic behind everything, because people have questions, and I don't think we're the only people that have questions about what this show is trying to teach us.
I don't like this series. I was very hopeful. I was thinking I'm going to do something very brilliant for me, because I love shows that will push you to the edge like that. But this one, it was just nudging you one kind, then it stopped. I don't know, like the series. I'll give it a 1 out of 5.
I'll give it 0.5. I will even overlook that some of the acting were really horrible in this film. I tried, but the story did not make sense too. The only people that acted were veteran actors. I know we cried that, oh, we want to see new faces, we want to see new faces. Okay, some of them were okay with their performances, but most of them were not good. Because people say new faces doesn't mean that I want to see bad accent, please.
I think that the new faces did well.
No, some of them at the beginning, extras and the rest.
I did not notice the extras. The pharmacist, that one was just one scene and she was terrible, I know. But I think that every first new face that we saw here, I think they did a good job. Like the Onyinye, or the girl that went for that audition, she acted her role well. Then Chiamaka acted well. I don't know, I've never seen an role before.
I saw some bad acting.
I think Chigo nailed her character.
Yeah.
Chigo, then Zakoji as usual. Then the Itomo and her sister Mimi Sin, they were okay when they were acting as sisters. But when it came to the stabbing scene, you could just say that there was no killing going on here. It was not believable. That scene of them killing their stepfather and also killing the mom was not very believable. Yeah, there was some bad acting, but some people actually also tried. Yeah. That's what I'm basically trying to say. So, okay, you gave it 0.5. So tell us, what did you think about Inside Life? Anyway, please let us know what you think in the comments. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, do take good care of yourself. Goodbye.